Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? Um, Thanks for watching. Um, I'm not going to go through the protocols because we all know the protocols about the subscribe and comments and like and everything else. So I want, but like I said, I got to go to work again today. It's another day. Um, so what I want to do right quick is I want to talk about one more subject um, that I was thinking about. And so the title of the subject is Desperation Will Kill a Person's Judgment and their decision making. And it's okay. All right. Here's the thing. I've seen it time and time again dealing with so many independent artists. Um, Now, I would say this. Yes, it's easy to take pictures with celebrities. Um, and a lot of times people will do that. They'll take pictures of celebrities, they'll post them. I gotten pictures of with celebrities, an artist and people like that. And a lot of times when people do this, it makes them feel good because they feel like they're in that same world as the people they're taking a picture with. Like, let's say if I give you an example. If I go and take a picture with me and Stevie Wonder and I post it, then all of a sudden it gives the illusion to people that look at the photo, and they'll make people think, oh man, he must be well connected and working with Stevie Wonder, right? Now, the only difference would be if I had a picture of me and Stevie Wonder together in my studio and we were actually working on music together. Then yeah, that would be legit. But to go to an event and take a picture with Stevie Wonder at an event doesn't mean I'm working with Stevie Wonder. It means I just had an opportunity to take a photo with Stevie Wonder. And I notice there's a lot of people that do this. There's a lot of people that do. They'll take pictures with celebrities. And even sometimes people will be, you can even be a performer and get a chance to do an opening act but you're not the main attraction. Um, Now, with all that being said, to get to the heart of the heart of the video I've seen uh, the desperation of people because they're so desperate to be this star um, that they'll crap over people. Um, Maybe they really, whatever the case, as if people can't see they're doing this, right? So, um, with this being said, um, I'm gonna say this. I kind of give you the scenario of my background. Um, when I started playing, I didn't start playing because I wanted to be a star. I didn't even start playing because I knew I could predict in the future that YouTube would be this big platform to get you some attention. Because I started playing in the 70s. Of course, the internet and YouTube was non existent, right? I started playing because I just loved to play music. I started as a trumpet player. So by trade, I'm actually a trumpet player, right? Because that was the first instrument. So your first instrument makes you, by trade, that type of musician. I picked up piano and saxophone and tuba. One, I had to play tuba because I had to play in marching band. So I've always been around musicians. That's a no-brainer. When you're playing in marching band, you're around other musicians, right? Whether it was through elementary school, middle school, and even high school, and even college, I was always around other musicians. So that's natural. So I'm just since I was 10, I'm used to the environment. On top of that, because I learned to play the piano, I became really good at it, and that's what got me to be able to start playing in bands, and we would gig and play, in nightclubs and things like that. Well, when I was playing in the band in the 90s, we were playing at these nightclubs in Austin. And of course, every now and then, because 6th Street in Austin was a well-known live band music, it was well known for that. You have some, like Stevie Ray Vaughan was from Austin, so he was well known for playing on 6th Street. This is back when he was alive. But, there's all kinds of musicians that played on 6th Street. And I'm talking about some of the best in the business played in Austin on 6th Street. So, got to play in a band that played on 6th Street. And, when we were playing, one day we were gigging, and it turned out to be, before he passed away, George Duke, infamous jazz, R&B pianist, one of the top pianists in the business, was in the audience listening to our band play, and they let us know, hey, George Duke is in the audience, and he gave me a big thumbs up, to me when I was playing keys, because he's a keyboard player, I'm a keyboard player, and he gave me a big thumbs up, thumbs up to a keyboard player, which made I remember this, right? So, of course, at that time in the 90s, I was in my early 20s, right? So, moved on as I was playing with this band and playing. Later on, a couple years later, met another guy that started his own record label, his own recording studio and production company. And how I met him was they needed a band to play behind the girls he was producing. So, and they were living in Waco, Texas at the time. So at the time, he present the music. He said he's not really a keyboard player. So I listened to music. I took it. I said, I can make this better, right? I told him, I said, I can improve this if you give me the opportunity. So he said, okay, I'd like to hear what you did. So took it back. I didn't have hardly any music equipment. I had my Sonic, my tape deck, and so I sequenced all the retracks on the Sonic, and then I let him hear all the improved sequence tracks to what he had done. He fell in love with what I did, and that's how I got started to work in his recording studio / record label / production team, because he was impressed, and that's how I joined his team. That, with long being said, because I did all the music and we redid the music and re-recorded everything and all that, got it fished out because it helped get some more notice to these girls, and including some of the major record labels. So with that being said, that is known as what I always talk about, which is known as the group called A Different Taste. So if you YouTube or Google A Different Taste, and like one of the songs is called Make a Move as an example. So if you Google or even YouTube A Different Taste, Make a Move, that's one of the songs, you're listening to the music that I recorded. That actually, and to move on, of course, years later, things didn't go the way we wanted. We didn't have the music lore, had this whole spiel, so that didn't work out the way we want. So eventually, I went back in the Army, because I was in the Army, and I got out of the Army, went to the reserves and so forth, went back in the Army, and I continued I didn't have nowhere near the recording studio that I have now. So didn't have the recording studio that I have now. Had a few pieces of equipment, a couple of keyboards, some software, and I just started to build it. I didn't really start building it heavy until 2001, when I was in 2001 going to 2002. I had left Colorado and went to Houston because I was tasked to become an Army recruiter. So I started building my home recording studio then, like seriously, and other than just having a couple of keyboards and some software and just doing some MIDI tracks. So, couple of friends of mine there had a friend that I met. We became really, really good friends. He knew a woman that was associated, and she actually had ties to BET. So started doing music with with him, and we started collaborating, doing stuff over the years, and we still talk to this day, almost like all the time. So he started a record label, and it's called B&B Records. and B&B Productions and all that. So I got the hat. He sent me one of the hats because I'm part of his. I'm still part of his production team even to this day. So he happened to. We had a couple of artists. Was dealing with BT. Which sent one guy down there at BT. To make a long story short, and this is why I'm still in the Army. So when I finally retired from the Army, of course I settled in the state of Tennessee, and just continued to really. I went hard on really building my recording studio within the last 10 years, and it's what you see now. I just started buying gear, and really built my home recording studio. The only thing I don't like is this was my house. I didn't really plan to build it this way initially. In this room, the way I built the studio now, this way, because I didn't think about. There's a lot of stuff I knew about recording studios, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. So, and also at the same time, I decided to start a YouTube channel because everyone was doing that. And it started off slow, and it just started building, and I started, and so forth. So as I did that, I started meeting people. But, so, yeah, wrap it up. So to wrap it up, to not go very long, the more of what I'm saying about this whole process is that I'm not doing this because I'm so desperate to become this star. You know, I'm doing it because I love to do this. Whether I get famous or not at doing music, I really don't want the fame, and I'm really not big on the fortune. I just love to do it, and sometimes that just comes with it. I'm not looking for it because there's also downside to being really famous, such as being, you know, the privacy thing, and you know, then you start to worry about all the false accusations and all this other stuff of being famous, which I do not want to get into. I kind of like the way Teddy Riley separates his private life from the public, but he's still a well-known producer, right? That's my goal, to work with some of these artists and still do what Teddy Riley does without worrying about. You know, you don't hear all these crazy rumors about Teddy Riley, right? So that's my goal. The same thing with other producers like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Dallas Austin and all these other producers, right? And stuff like that. You just don't hear a whole lot of negativity, which is the goal. So the goal of reason why I'm making this video is because if you have the love for just wanting to do music and have a passion for it and not so desperate that you're ready to crap over people, then I think things will fall into place. It's kind of like, you know, spiritually, God will lead you right down the right path, right? But there are people out there, and I'll give you a couple of scenarios. I've been back in the 80s. I was real young. This woman was so desperate to want to be known as this big artist, even though she wasn't. She was a local person that knew nobody, but would go to the extent of writing up all these names. She used to have this book of trying to think every celebrity was out there trying to, or whatever the case, right? And I used to think it was odd that you're supposed to know all these celebrities, but no one know you're not famous or you're not connected with anyone, but yet you claim to be connected with everyone even though you're not, because no one's calling you. Most of the time, if you're famous, you know a lot of musicians, you know a lot of producers, you know, and I'm like, why are you in the position you are if you were so like that? So that's one person. I remember one time I met one person when I initially started my YouTube channel, and they were trying to say they were this large star or whatever the case. And they had the audacity to even send me photos of some Grammys that they had supposedly have won. Then I took a closer look at those Grammys, and those Grammys didn't look real. They looked at fake. I'm like, those don't look like real Grammys. Grammys look a certain way, right? And then I met another person that was trying to make claims that they knew all these big celebrities and they were well. And I'm like, why do people it's kind of, these people. If you know some people, they know you. If you know famous people, the famous people know you. So, and I will sit there and say, even through my channel, since I've been posting these videos, there are especially other engineers, studio engineers, because naturally, the way the studio, it's going to attract other engineers, right? It will attract other engineers and I've got a really good, we hadn't met face to face, but we talk all the time on the phone. Another studio engineer / musician, and we talk all the time. Really exceptional guitarist, right? And we talk all the time, and we hadn't met face to face, but you could tell he's a genuine person. And we met, how we met through my YouTube channel. So you can meet people even through my YouTube channel. I was just saying, when I was saying that I won't work, when I was talking about a certain couple, I won't work with people like that again. And I'll tell you the main reason. Okay, when I was talking about the other video that I made about a piece of gear, and doing his music, the problem that I had, the reason why they think I didn't want to do the music with them or whatever, the problem is they didn't want to sign anything that was going to obligate to pay me. That was the problem. But yet they still wanted to get all this music, or use this music, but they didn't want to, they kept coming up with excuses of not, or they wanted to try to get the music, but yet try to get rights, some sort of rights to it, where they can get some sort of rights to it, because they really didn't have the money to really go the way they was trying to proceed. They have money, right? And my goal wasn't trying to get them to pay. My goal was to try to get some sort of agreement that if the music that we do starts making money, if the music that we did started making money, then we all can get paid a fair amount through our agreement. That was the whole purpose. They think that I just didn't want to send them music and whatever the case. So it got into this thing where I'll just take my piece of equipment, whatever, back, right? And that wasn't the problem. The problem is you didn't want to sign an agreement. You had signed an agreement and said, okay, I get a certain percentage, you certain percentage, and when it starts making money, this is how we're going to get paid. Because here's the thing, this is what I learned. That's why I said they're not good people. They think they're good people, but they're not. Because anyone business-wise would sit there and say, okay, yeah, if I do a piece of music and it starts making money, then you're going to get your cut, I'm going to get my cut, because this is our agreement. But they want to try to manipulate that to pay, I'm going to use this music to manipulate, that way I can get other people that, because I can't afford to pay people up front. Right? So that's the whole problem with the whole situation. That's why I say I'll never work with people like, and basically when I say I won't work with people, I will work with people. I won't work with people in that situation like that again. Like if someone comes there and say, hey man, I know you was talking about some Adam speakers. I won't do that again. Don't offer to buy me. I'll buy my own Adam speakers. Okay. And the thing is, if I do with people, you're going to sign an agreement that this is how we're going to do it, or we're not going to work together. So that's what it is. So, and that's with anyone in the business. The difference is most people in the business are not going to do anything till they get paid up front. Period. Especially some of the big names in the business. They're not going to do anything unless they get paid up front. So, I don't know how, when I come up, when people are, when it goes that I'm in a video like this, because it's going 20 minutes. I don't understand how people can think they're going to have any success in the music industry thinking they can work the way they're going to work. Okay. And I don't understand how people get so desperate that they're going to run up this large amount of debt to go pay somebody out of state to do something. You're running up all this major amount of debts, so ain't no way I would do that, and then that person's going to deter. In other words, you're paying a bill, but that person is telling you what you can and cannot do. It's like, but you're paying for it, right? So, anyhow, to sum it up, the whole entire purpose of this video was to say, if you love to do music and you do music, things will fall into place. You will meet the right people. Period. Which I do. I meet people all the time through my YouTube channel. And people and artists that I'm working with locally. There's an exceptional gospel artist, singer, an exceptional gospel artist, singer, that, you know, whatever. And so I'm going to talk about her stuff this weekend. And other artists, and just, you know, there's a lot of talented people that I run across, even through playing through the church. Exceptional singers that you meet, and other musicians. So there's always musicians drummers, guitar players, saxophone players that I meet and talk to all the time. So to sum up the video, when you work with caliber of people, you'll meet people and things will fall into place for you. But when you're desperate and you don't work with people the right way, nothing will actually, you know. And I end on this. That's why a certain couple been doing this for 20, you know, and they're just like, you know, they think they're, but okay. So let me sum up the video. So the sum of the video is like, if you just do this because you love to do it, I think that's what happens to a lot of people that end up having a lot of success. Is because they're doing it for the love of doing it. It's like Michael Jackson too, but Michael Jordan did become one of the greatest ball players because he strived, because he knew he was going to be one of the greatest ball players. Michael Jordan put in hours and hours of practice and everything else to get where he got, and it just because he did it as a kid and he did it through high school, it worked for him through college, what led him to an NBA career, and that led him to playing with the Chicago Bulls. And it just fell in one after the other because he just loved to do it. He would practice 8 hours a day sometime, basketball. 8 hours a day, practicing his jump shot, practicing his taking it to the hole. He would practice, and he just loved it. That's how much his passion about. You have to have a passion to be good at something. You know, it's why musicians become really good, because they have a passion and they put all their time and effort daily to get as good as they are. You can't hope and pray that you're gonna be this exceptional musician without putting in an actual effort to become an exceptional musician. You have to put in the time and effort of practicing every day and all the time to become an exceptional musician. You can wish and think all day long, but without putting in an effort to practice, you'll never be good. So that's going to sum up the video. And I just, overall, to, you know, once again, to end the video, I just feel bad for people when they're desperate. You feel bad for people because they're desperate and they lack skills. And there's millions of people like that. It's like watching the American Idol auditions. And of course, some of that stuff is staged, you know, for production and rating purposes. But a lot of those auditions are legitimate auditions where people actually think they're better than what they are. It's almost like the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger is basically about dealing with, you know, it's like someone that's stupid, but they don't know they're stupid because they're too stupid to understand and realize that they're stupid. That's the same thing with someone that it's like singers. There are people that actually legitimately think they can sing, and they're not as good as they think they are. But in their mind, they think they're as good as they are. It's like for me, I know I'm not this, like with me when I sing stuff. Technically, to do all that technical vocal stuff, yes, I can do that. The problem is tonal quality. I lack tonal quality. That's why I've never pursued to be a singer. It's not that you cannot all be in there and do all the little ooh and all that little high stuff and ooh and all that little technical vocal stuff. Yeah, I can do that. The problem is when you have this natural, it's like having an artist like Jeffrey Osborne or Peebo Bryson or Luther Vandross or Stevie, people that actually have a natural tone quality. I'm going like Tank or or Tyrese or singers. That they immediately when they sing they have this natural tone quality. I don't have that. That's why I never pursue to be a singer. I sing. My craft is through playing instruments, especially keyboards. But there's the people that suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect that realize that they think they're a better singer than what they are. And they're not. Some people are okay. Some people are, some people can get through. But then there are some people that just naturally just got it. That's just where their gift is. And some people don't realize that their gift is not. Same thing with playing an instrument. Some people just don't have a gift at playing an instrument. No matter how much effort they put into trying to play an instrument. Because they don't realize a lot of that is God-given talent. If you weren't given the God-given talent to be a singer or musician or whatever, you're not going to be good no matter, you'll probably get good enough to be okay. But you'll never be good enough to be like some people are just like with Oscar Peterson or Herbie Hancock, people that are just naturally gifted. Even at being at 5 years old, some people are just natural because it's God-given. Some people aren't. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. You got to realize your limitations and realize it's like some people, you just weren't meant to be a singer. I wasn't never meant, even I love to sing. I'm not meant to be a singer. Or I would have happy God would have blessed me with that talent. So you have to understand where your skill sets are. So I'm going to end the video with that. That's why I said, it's a sad, and then there's some people that are just lucky that just got lucky that don't have no talent. Some way, somehow they've gotten where they are. And sometimes it amazes me. There are some people that gotten into business and some of it's luck or whatever the case, knowing the right people. But, it's kind of like certain artists, and I'm not going to bash certain names, but there are certain people out there that you're like, I don't know how, why, and then it could be this lots of reasons why a person with no talent is in the limelight like they are. So thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you in the next one.